Hey, 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 people. It's Friday, Easter weekend. Welcome to Beards on the Street. I'm Parry Dean Ward. We got Mr. Thomas over there and Mr. AAA Ron.
Morning.
You know I always add different A's in yours. Like, I get going so fast, I had like 5 A's.
I believe it. You go fast? No.
Right. It's not fast, dude. It's with purpose.
Yeah.
Come on.
Did you see? I think bouncing them back and forth. We're not live. That's okay.
We'll go live.
Maybe my fault.
Wow. Weird. Oh, that's so weird. This guy.
Yeah.
He and electronics do not work at all. Like,
you ought to see the cluster like we have with me and a calendar.
I was just going to say, he just tries to set up a calendar invite and send it out, and it is absolutely muddled, for lack of a better word.
I didn't tell you this, but
freaking love you, dude.
I did it with our appointment yesterday with Gary, or 2 days ago with Gary.
Did you mess it up?
And he sent me the soft reminder of, hey, wrong day. And then, well, it's funny is because we got off the phone.
Why is it so hard for you?
You walked in my office the day I did it. You walked in my office, and as soon as I was inputting it, you started talking to me.
Oh, so it's my fault.
This one was. And then
squirrel.
No, I know my attention span. So I did it. Then I had to text him back and forth, and then I sent it to him. It was wrong. And then he sent back this nice. He is like one of the pillars in our real estate community. I mean, been an agent for 40 plus years.
Right. Really stud of a dude.
Like influence in our industry.
Yeah.
And his little response to me was, what was it? It's basically to the point of keep it tight to impress or something like that.
Are you challenged?
It was kind of like, hey, way to impress me, kind of a deal. It was nice the way he said it, but it was teasing me.
I have the faith in you, Aaron. I think that you're going to get it down one of these days.
I will figure it out.
It's really, I mean, you've got the date, you've got the time.
And location.
You've got the location.
And who's coming.
And you've got the invites.
Yeah.
So maybe make yourself a little list and a little checkbox type list, right?
All right. It seems to be the date that I'm having a hard time with.
All right, so here we are another week. We're already more than halfway through April already. Time is flying.
We're already through first quarter.
First quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in second quarter already.
A blink and it's over.
It's insane. Anyways, should we handle just housekeeping type stuff real fast so we can get in with this cat?
Yeah, get into the fun conversation.
So I picked up another listing. It's actually a sell by, so happy about that.
I got to be there for that. And
yeah, wasn't that fun?
Yeah, they were
cutest little freaking. It's some really good friends of mine. It's her dad and mom, and I swear to you, dude, this dude's 5 feet tall.
Wow.
And just
ex-military.
Diamante is his last name, so Italian, big time, right? And he's ex-military. He's an retired highway patrolman.
Oh wow.
He retired from the military, then he retired from highway patrol.
And then from something else.
And then from like the water district or something.
Yeah.
Like he's had 3 full careers.
And now he's going on 20 years working at a golf course. Like this dude is amazing.
Sweetheart guy too. I mean, sweetheart
so
guy.
Nice. Anyways, picked up that.
He pulled me over. I'd probably take the gun away from him.
Wow. I'd like to see you try, bro.
No, he probably would.
That guy would whoop your ass. He'd just punch you right in your balls, dude.
I'd just lay on him.
Right.
If I could get to him, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, nicest guy. I guarantee you that guy never had, in my opinion, we'll have to ask him, if he ever had any confrontation ever in his career. I'll bet he didn't. Because he's just one of those guys that you just immediately respect. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doesn't talk down to you, nice as can be, doing his job, guaranteed. He was that guy.
He shows up with that respect as well.
Did I ever tell you I sued a Utah highway patrolman? Actually, I sued the state of Utah.
Successfully?
Yes. Yeah,
his mic on?
the some bitch attacked me.
Is his mic on?
Check.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
all
just
right.
get your face in it, dude.
I'll get my face right in.
Vinny, no. So, anyways, had a killer week as far as VIP 50. Had an amazing meeting yesterday with
Couple cats.
with a couple cats. There's an owners meeting that we're going to partake in next Tuesday to talk about our VIP 50 and train. It's about 1,000 agents total
over the full the footprint
full
of the whole
brokerage.
office.
Yep.
Over the
different
state of
owners but
Utah.
same brand.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. Had an amazing meeting with a guy that I met not too long ago. I did a deal with him, Scott Eames, with Real, and really, I mean, we talked probably 5 or 6 times after. It was really cool.
Has he kept
like
going?
he's so freaking So tell you a little bit about Scott. This guy, I mean, he's a stud, dude, and been an agent for quite some years. And before he was an agent, he was in car sales and very, very, very successful. He and his brother. And actually trained other car salesmen how to do their job and do it
The
right. And not be
psychology of the
sleazy
sell,
and-
like just
yeah,
all
really
kinds of
cool stuff. But last year, he kind of got his legs kicked out from under him. He had like 5 or 6 people, close people in his family and friends that all passed away. One of them was his brother.
Wow.
That took his own life, and it knocked him down.
It staggered him for sure.
Like hard. And anyways, I thought it was really cool, dude. I didn't share this with you, but he called me up after, and he's like, you know what, Dean? He's like, you know what's been going on in my life. You know that it's been a struggle. And when I walked out of our meeting yesterday, I had that burning thing.
I was in the car for that, and I haven't.
That's right.
I haven't had a fire. that
yeah.
I can recognize in a long time, and I do right now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got it. So pretty amazing. So, anyways, yeah, good week all the way around, man. We've got
Excited where those relationships are going to go.
Oh my gosh, dude, we have so much cool stuff. We also pulled the trigger on our national campaign for going national through the VIP. So we're basically doing, for lack of a better word, do you know what ClickFunnels is? Have you heard of that?
Absolutely.
So we're doing a ClickFunnels campaign nationwide to bring on agents to participate in the VIP 50 and let us train them and then coach them through our system.
Very cool.
Which our system, I don't know if Aaron's told you about it. It's all about focusing on your relationships and your people, 50 of them in your realm or in your sphere, and actually really, really, really showing up for people and leaning in and really paying attention.
Interesting.
And the byproduct is you have an amazing, amazing group of friends and relationships and a community that you're the mayor of, that you're the one that's bringing this joy to everybody. Because, I mean, you face it, and I'm sure that just based on the title of your book, and I just met you just a few minutes ago, but based on the title of your book, I guarantee you this is your woo-woo spot for, serving others and being present and being paying attention to what's actually going on around you and actually giving a shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're in an industry where a lot of agents they stake claim to family and relationships and those kind of things, and we teach how to get in true flow and alignment with your friendships and relationships to where it naturally comes up and it's an opportunity. It's not just as soon as I hear you're going to buy a house, it's like,
yeah, you're on them like a
Yeah, it's
dirty
a
car salesman.
Single-threaded relationship, right?
Right.
And then once I'm done with you, and it's
Yeah, and they never hear from you again because you have nothing to offer to them.
Yep.
In other words.
Does that
Basically.
sound familiar at all?
I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, you get it. And then the byproduct of that, of actually, I mean, it's fun, dude. It's. I mean, we all love our friends. We love hanging out. We love doing fun shit. We love going out. We love, meeting up with a buddy and catching up and having a beer, and that's all fun stuff. And that's our daily freaking grind, so to say. And it's not a grind.
Yeah.
Right.
It's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And the side product of that is you turn these people into freaking, they'll go out of their way to help you get business.
Yep.
Out of their way.
The real healing though is the deep and meaningful relationships that you foster with the people. You're back in relationship with your brother and sister. You're back in relationship with, the people you say that matter to you, and you're actually, that connection that happens, that's the real value and byproduct of the biz.
Yeah, it's really cool. So anyways, we pulled the trigger and hired a firm to guide us through the process of building the ClickFunnels and the ads and all that stuff to really get it out there. Because, dude, we want to change people's lives, man. For the better. And really, really, really make a difference. So it's kind of cool.
Well, now's the time to do it.
It is.
I'm sure there's lots of folks out there that are looking for outside the box ways to create.
Yeah, because it's a tough market.
It's really tough right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
good time to do it.
Yeah. Let me remind everybody, those of you watching, talk to us, man. Chat with us through the Facebook feed.
So the way this works, so it's on my page,
We're live.
face as live on his as well. And then it later through the system gets dumped into YouTube. It goes into all the different.
Oh my gosh, we're idiots, dude.
What? I know, but why? Why now?
From now on, we need to have them put us live on their freaking Facebook. It takes 2 seconds to set it up to put them live, so it's feeding out to their people.
Would you have enjoyed that?
Yeah, because I have,
Dang it.
I have 18,000 TikTok followers, so you could go live on TikTok. Or
Oh my hell, dude. We got to get our shit together.
That's actually a really smart idea.
Yes, it is.
We are running like 8,000 miles.
Okay, we're going to shut this off. We're going to turn on. We're going to turn on him. Give us 10 minutes and we'll be right back.
This is a good segue. I want to hear about. Okay, I've been going to the gym. So I've been a member there since 06,
Me
lifetime.
too. 06.
Okay.
Really?
Well, I just started noticing him about 2 years ago.
Weird.
And it's like I've paid attention to this guy.
Okay.
And he works out, keeps to himself. He's there for a purpose. I think when I went up and approached him, it was interesting. There's a lot. You have a lot of your own stuff that comes up when you're going to interact with people. Mm-hmm. So every little impression I gave of what I thought, how I thought he was, it wasn't about him. It was about me. Mm-hmm. Right? Like the stories you tell, the interactions, what you think, who you make him up to be.
Also, your false beliefs.
Yes. Or whatever your projections are.
Or your false projections.
Yes. And I didn't have. It was interesting.
You seem to do that on a kind of a regular basis.
We all do.
We do.
You're actually talking about something that we all do. The brain works this way. If I see someone, it will automatically make a full circle of who that person is. It automatically.
We contextualize.
I may only have a 0.0% understanding just what you look like. I just immediately make it up.
Right.
Then you talk, and then I'm like, oh, that
You
changes
adjust
that
it.
much.
Yep.
Then when you tell me a story, oh, that changes that much. Oh, you're married. Oh, that changes that much.
Right.
Oh, I see your wife. Oh, that changes that much. Then we're building a fuller circle, right?
Right.
But we all make those snap.
Of course we do.
Of what someone looks like we're using past experience to determine who this person is.
Right. You know what else? We're reading a book that's what's it called?
Charisma Myth.
Yeah, the Charisma Myth, and it's a killer book, and it talks about, like, literally in that first millisecond when you are talking with somebody, you in literally that fast, you're reading what's going on in them through their eyes, through their facial expressions, through how they hold themselves. It's like that, and
Yeah.
Well,
it's crazy.
I walked up. It was leg day. I walked up and asked him how many more sets he had on the extension, and then I kind of went and did a movement. And then you let me know when it was available, and so I went and did that movement. And then I was walking out. He was coming out of the bathroom, and I'm like, "Hey," and I approached him.
Good.
Well, he's made an impression for 2 years, and I want to engage that.
So you approached him and did this when?
About a month ago, probably.
Wow.
But fun
Took you that long.
Fun to find out. He and I are in total alignment. We're in total alignment with a bunch of stuff.
Actually, let me introduce him. Let me introduce you, Thomas, the correct way.
Okay.
So Thomas is. I'm bringing up on our screen your book. So your book's up there now.
The cheat code, huh?
He wrote a book called The Cheat Code, and I don't know this other one with your zeros and ones. I'll throw that up there with the leaf thing.
It's the same
Lotus
logo.
flower.
It's the same logo.
Yeah, same logo from the book.
Got it. Okay, perfect. So you wrote this book. So talk to us about this book. What? Tell us a little bit about you and what your journey was to writing a book.
Yeah. So I think I've lived 5 lifetimes in this lifetime. I was raised in the FLDS.
Oh, wow.
The polygamous cult.
Right.
Warren Jeffs was my principal.
Like down in Colorado City?
Yeah. The leader that is
This
now
just got interesting.
the leader that's now in prison, serving 2 life sentences, Warren Jeffs. He was originally, his father was the prophet, and we actually lived up here in this area, and he had a compound up Little Cottonwood Canyon, and that was where our school was.
Is it right by Lakai? The one
Yeah.
right by Lakai?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
It's not there anymore.
It has the perimeter fence is still there.
On Warren's house only.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know if he still owns it. I don't
Okay.
understand that. But
Now, where by Lakai? North,
it's-
south?
as you're heading
90.
up to Little Cottonwood, there's
Top of the hill above Lakai.
there's a big, huge, probably 13 acres that was walled off, and this was when I was in.
And it was only a
in the
wall
80s.
this high.
Huh. I know where
Concrete.
you're talking, but I'm. Anyways,
Anyhow, that was
Bunch of houses on it.
That was our school that we went to. So I went to school there, and it was church-led school. So even from first grade on, I was getting like 3 hours roughly of church history, indoctrination, whatever you want to call it.
as far as they looked at it,
FLDS.
right?
Yep. So way more slanted towards the original Joseph Smith beliefs. Polygamy. My dad was a polygamist.
We were both
Well, yeah,
LDS.
they wanted to slant it towards what they were participating in, so that they made it okay.
Sure, but it was based off of what Joseph originally taught, right?
Okay.
So they stuck to that, but then they just like the church manipulated it and added things, right? So I was a part of that.
No,
I
the church doesn't do that.
yeah. That's a deep.
Let's
subject
not open
in
up
and of
that
its
hole.
own.
My mom's gonna pull my ear and kick me in the ass.
But went through a lot of stuff. Let's just put it that way, and some traumatic things. But in the time, I didn't really relate what I was going through as traumatic. Okay,
Right.
It was in my mind, I related it to as a pretty good childhood. People would look weird at us, but whatever. They didn't know me. All right. Well, when I turned 18, I was like, I don't want to do this. I'm leaving the church. Leaving the church means leaving your family, leaving your
Yeah, they
friends.
what's it called?
Excommunication. Yep.
Yeah, you're out.
And they can't, like, for the most part, the people in the church, so all the kids I grew up with, my friends, it was just a hard chop. Done.
You're cut off from all of it.
I watched a special about, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but it's about, they called them the Lost Boys.
Yeah, that's who I was.
Yeah.
But I was one of the first before they named them Lost Boys. So, but to that point, I didn't get pushed out. I decided to leave on my own, and I was
Right.
18, and I was doing construction since I was 14. So I had good experience in heavy equipment operating and stuff. So I was able to go get a job really easy. But what happens is, because you're so indoctrinated and you're so protected, we weren't allowed to date. I didn't even talk to girls.
Well,
that
you were
weren't my-
competition to the old bastards.
Well, kind of, but in that particular religion, the prophet was the only one that could tell someone who they could marry. A man couldn't just go out and find a wife.
Right.
The prophet had to tell him, but they couldn't even ask. The prophet assigned it. So it was all about obedience. So you could, if you had more wives, that means you were holier, right? So it was like a reward, a gold star
Right.
perspective.
Right.
So in leaving, because we were in
So if you were kissing the ass of the prophet well enough, then you
and
got more wives.
donating lots of money.
Right. Well,
And
there's that too.
That was a very close correlation to who was running the church.
Of course.
And so what happened was, I was so naive that when I came into the world, when I left, in my subconscious, I believed, oh, I'm going to hell. Because that's what I was told my whole life.
Right. No, I get that.
A lot of LDS people.
I was raised strict, strong
even when
LDS.
you leave, it doesn't leave.
Right.
It's baked into you, right?
Right.
And so I did what I call the pendulum effect. I went from really over here when I left
To the other side.
drugs, alcohol, sex, women, blah, 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 you name it. Like
All the things that were, don't touch them, but you're going to hell. So
driving
why
100
does it
miles
matter?
off a cliff.
Right.
Like literally.
Right.
And the reason that is so true is like a lot of these boys that left, I know dozens of people who've committed suicide. Dozens.
Wow.
Because what happens is you leave and you dive deep into this. You think, oh, I'm not in this church, so I'm supposed to be doing drugs. You don't realize that there's a middle.
Right. There's a happy place.
Yeah. And that you're not supposed to be destroying your life. Right. And so I got married really soon. I was drinking immediately. I got divorced. My dad died. I got married again. By the time I was 24, I was married twice. I joined the LDS church because I was lost and I thought,
right.
oh, well, maybe this is right.
This is the answer.
Got married in the temple. 6 months into being married to that girl, her parents found out that we went to Chili's on a Sunday and they freaked out. She had to go stay with them. She wouldn't come back home. I ended up getting divorced from her only 6 months in.
Jeez.
She ended up moving in with me and leaving her parents and leaving the church. Then we ended up breaking up. And all this time, my alcoholism is just like slowly
Worse and worse.
Slowly creeping up. I get into sales. I'm high pressure sales jobs, right? I'm doing well in sales, but my alcoholism is continuing to climb. I end up meeting a girl at work, getting her pregnant, getting married to her. Some bad stuff happened, infidelity, this, that. And we ended up getting divorced when my son was 6 months old. I took 50% custody of him. But after that divorce, the alcoholism got really bad. I was drinking gallons of vodka per week, like couldn't function without it. Would wake up shaking. I would have to drink. I'm telling you, like on the weekends, and my weekend started on Thursday. On the weekends, I would wake up and take 6 shots right in a row. Boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
And then I would drink all day. I would have a water bottle full of vodka. I would drink all day.
Just straight vodka.
All the time. And I wasn't eating, and I'm just drinking all the time. Driving around, you name it. And a lot of people, I was like high functioning because a lot of people couldn't tell that I was drunk.
You were just functioning with it.
But of course, what comes with that is like the hangovers would be so wicked. I'd be like, I have to drink to not.
Yeah, because I mean, you poisoned your body to the point that you were in trouble.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so what ended up happening was when I was about 34, it was so bad.
So you're talking almost 8 years. 8 years of
18 to 33.
I'm talking about this period where you were like really
high, like high level alcoholism was about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Like
wow.
In extreme levels. To the point where I was not partying at all. I would just sit in my house and just drink.
By yourself.
Yeah. Big time. And I got so bad I would hide alcohol in my own house and I lived alone.
trying to manage yourself.
It poisons your brain.
Right.
No, because I was worried that people would come over and see the alcohol and think I had a problem.
Oh, wow.
That's how messed up my brain was. Oh, by the way, when I was 29, I was leaving a bar and I was super trashed and I got in an argument with a guy and his 2 friends and him beat the shit out of me. Literally knocked me out, stomped on my head, fractured my skull. I had a traumatic brain injury. I was in a coma for a month. The doctors thought I would not be able to walk and talk, and I'd have to go through all of that and learning it. Luckily, for whatever reason, grace of God, I only lost my sense of smell. So even today, I can't smell. But that wasn't enough.
Eating food's got to suck.
I had lots of spicy stuff.
Right.
I eat a lot of Red Hot. But that wasn't a like quote unquote rock bottom moment enough. It wasn't enough. I didn't say, oh, I've got a drinking problem. I was like, oh, that was just that guy's fault. I would put the blame on someone else. And all this time that I'm drinking, I was putting the blame on, well, why didn't my parents raise me in that? And if I would have had a normal childhood, I wouldn't be dealing with this right now.
Right. The blame game.
A lot of pushing the blame on others, right?
Yep.
Victimization,
so,
yep.
34, I never owned any guns, but I was like, I can't stop drinking, and this is hell. It was not fun.
Right.
There was no like
can
good
be.
buzzy moment.
Like you felt like shit all the time.
It was drinking just to feel like half as shitty.
Right.
Like not even it was. There was no pleasure in it, and it was just getting worse and worse and worse.
Wow.
So I went.
That's sad.
I went and bought a 1911 45, and said,
I'm out.
I'm going to do it. And this was all premeditated. This happened over weeks. Like I was like, okay, I'll get the gun, and then I'll get the bullets, and then I'll just do this, and I'll have it here, and I'll buy a safe so my son doesn't find it. Just knowing it was going to come.
Yep.
One night I was like, okay, this is it. It was about 2 a.m, and I was hammered as normal, and I was like, I was like walking up the stairs to go grab my gun, and I'm like, yep, this is gonna
Wow.
got up there, got it, and then I realized I'm like, gosh, I live alone.
Who's going to find me?
How long am I going to sit here before someone finds me? People don't even have keys to my house. I was just thinking about all this stuff, and I'm like, oh man, I have a great idea. I'll go out on my front lawn. I'll do it on my front lawn because then some random
Somebody will see me.
stranger will just drive by and see me. They won't be found. I won't be found by my family. I won't make a mess in my house. My family has to clean up, whatever. So I got to that. I'm like, okay, great.
It's interesting to hear these thoughts that go through, I mean, at least your mind. That's crazy.
I talk about this a lot. When someone is truly suicidal, they won't tell anyone.
Right.
You will not hear it.
No.
And
Which is sad because that's the point where they need it the most.
Exactly. Because you feel like you can't tell anyone. Because think about it.
Yeah.
I go to my mom and I'm like, oh, I'm feeling this way. One of two things is going to happen. Her reaction is going to be angry, or it's going to be like, we got to get you into therapist. You're going to get committed. Right? So it's like,
Plus, we're men and we're proud and we have egos, and it's like
you shouldn't feel this way.
Exactly.
You're tough.
Right.
You shouldn't feel this way.
Right.
You're weak if you feel that way.
Right.
So I go out there. I realize I'm like, holy crap! I have not shot this gun. I don't even know. I'm like, if I pull the trigger and it doesn't go off, fuck.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm in Draper, pointing up in the air, boom, boom, 2 times, pull the trigger in the middle of Draper, freaking 45.
How many times did the cops get called?
No one came, dude.
No kidding.
So then I'm like, all right, here we go. Put it up to my head, and I just, you feel the trigger, you feel the stiffness
The tension.
of the trigger. Here it comes. And I just had this thought, and it was like, wait, it's like you have money and you have this and you have that. No one knows anything about your life, and you do have a son. So if you're going to do this, please just leave some instructions. Don't make this such a headache for everyone to deal with.
Right.
So I was like, So I'm like, okay. So I go in the house and then pass out. Well, I wake up, and by the way, I always lock my doors, everything. I wake up, my mom, sister, and brother are in my house. The gun is sitting there on the coffee table, and they're like, what the hell? And apparently I had texted them goodbye.
I was going to say, how did they know?
Yeah. So they're like, what the heck? We got a text from you at 3 a.m. saying goodbye. And then they saw the gun and everything, so they flip out at me. I get all mad. They leave, take the gun, and then, of course, I get drunk. But at that moment, I knew, I was like,
That was your cry for help.
To myself.
Right.
Because I wasn't going to accept help from other people, but I was like, I have to figure out what the heck is causing me to do this. Why am I drinking myself to death?
Right.
So then I go on this, I decide, I'm like, all right, I have to fix this. I quit, just cold turkey. I'm not going to go to rehab. I refuse to, but I quit cold turkey.
Holy hell. That had to be pure hell for...
It was hell for like 2 weeks. Then I got to what they call the pink cloud, where I felt amazing. I was like, holy shit.
First time in years.
Well, dude, I forgot that you can wake up without a hangover. I actually forgot that.
Wow.
And I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so good. So, but then what happened was I went 3 months, and I won an award trip at my job, and I was down in St. Thomas, and everybody's drinking and this and that. I went the whole trip.
Was it hard to be around it?
Super hard.
I'm sure.
Hard. I went the whole trip till the last night. And my buddy was drinking. I'm like, screw it. And I freaking take a drink. I got so drunk, we went to a freaking gentleman's club, and I started a fight with the bouncer. And my friend had to tell me this because I got so drunk I was blacked out.
Were you a mean drunk?
Super. At that point. I wasn't early on, but I got to be one.
Right.
And so, so what I realized is because I had gone sober for so long, I actually when I went off, it went I went way far.
Right.
Like super hard.
Way off the
like
wagon.
The crash is like ridiculous. Like no control.
Wow.
And I almost missed my flight going home. And I remember getting to the airport right in time, and I was just bawling my eyes out. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Mm-hmm. What is wrong with me? I don't understand.
What were your buddies saying?
They're like, dude, like it was just like,
Like, chill out, bro.
What's your problem? Like they nobody understood it, and I didn't understand it. So then I get home, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to quit again. So I go another 3 months, fall off the wagon, go on a 2-day bender, not aggressive out, but just I couldn't withhold this. I had to go buy tequila, and I couldn't.
What triggered that one?
Nothing necessarily. I just kept thinking about it, and I was home alone on a Friday.
Obsessing over it.
And so I went and did it 2 days.
Probably
bender.
just bored.
Well, I see, dude, I'm going through all these possibilities. I'm like, maybe I'm bored. Maybe I'm this. Maybe I'm that. Maybe I'm blah, blah, blah. Go through that bender. Go another 3 months. Same thing happens again. This time, though, after I came out of it, I was like, holy shit. I'm like, because I believe that if I quit drinking, that would solve it.
Right.
What I realized was I'm like, oh
But it
my
wasn't.
gosh.
You were still the same.
Alcohol is my solution. It's what I'm using. It's not the problem. Alcohol is my solution to my problem. When I get sober, I feel my problem, and I don't want to feel it, so I drink.
Alcohol was the fix.
Alcohol was numbing me.
Yep.
I didn't feel the problem. So when I quit, the last time, which now I'm coming up on 8 years sober,
Good for you.
when I quit the last time, I was like, I have to understand what is causing me to feel the need to numb. I quit my job. I was a salesperson at Domo at the time. Just fully quit my job. Didn't have a plan on how I was going to pay for anything, because I was like, I'm going to kill myself or I'm going to die.
Right.
So this is like utmost important. I completely quit my job, and I started digging into, like, I read so many books from Deepak Chopra, Tony Robbins, Untethered Soul, right? Like, you name it,
Yeah.
right? I just consumed myself in it. And I was reading. I learned transcendental meditation. I learned how to do hypnotherapy to myself. I met Deepak Chopra. I met Tony Robbins. And about 3 months into sobriety, I was getting real, like,
Antsy.
And I had researched, every book I read was like, learn to meditate. I was trying to do guided meditation. And for all things, I was listening to Howard Stern, and he talked about transcendental meditation. And I was like, what the hell is that? I didn't know there's like different types. I go research it. You can't learn it online. There's a trainer. You go to a trainer. There's one here in Salt Lake. I go and see him. He's like, it's $1,000. And I was like, all right, you better
Better fix me.
You better not. And the first time he trained me how to do it, the first time I did it, it like blew my mind. It actually shut my mind down, and I actually had
It calmed that
state
urge.
of consciousness
Good.
where I was like, no thought. And I was like, holy cow. Because I was a massive overthinker, like overthinking. You saw it with planning of the,
Right.
I thought I could think through things, and like that was my power. It was
Right.
actually my.
You could outsmart it.
It was actually the worst part about me was that.
Right.
Because what I learned through meditation was allowing and letting go is the power of everything. So once I learned meditation, then I started to sail with sobriety. Because then I started to allow, I started to let, and I realized that, like, you can't fantasize about it. You can't give it energy. Just thinking, man, it'd be nice to have a beer.
Yep.
Fuck that.
Can't do that.
It's out.
Yep.
No, you know what beer is? It's vomiting. It's disgusting. It's gross. I hate it. Alcohol, anytime I think about it, my mind is now trained that I think that
Bad.
at all times, no matter what. And when I'm around, I'm in sales and tech, and I go to like events, and there's tons of drinking and stuff. Now I just see it. I see the energy, and I'm like, gosh, what are they running from? Why do they feel the need to do this? What are they hiding from themselves? Of course, I can't say that.
Right.
A lot of people are like, oh, you don't drink? You're so brave. And I was like, you're brave. You're brave. I'm not brave. I'm actually myself.
Right.
You're the one that's like poisoning yourself to the point where you're like inebriated. And then I love societies like, well, I was drunk.
Right.
Oh, so that now
That's an acceptance now.
from all
Right.
bad
Social
behavior.
lubricant and no accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you were drunk.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Baby, it didn't mean anything. I was
used that.
drunk.
I've used that one.
How we've all used it.
Right. By the way, quick shout out, Johnny, my little brother, spatted off on here. I'm not sure what he meant. Up, down, left, right, BA, select, start.
That's codes. The cheat codes.
The
Or
cheat
Contra.
codes.
I believe that's Contra's cheat code.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cool.
But he caught on to it because that is the play on words and the coding in the lotus flower. Lotus flower is your chi or your balance.
that's what you get it. I didn't get it. I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
He knew exactly what it was.
So it's cheat codes.
Good job,
or
Johnny.
Cheat codes. The cheat code is it's like your codes. The codes.
He just said, that's right.
Yeah. It's like the codes for your life.
Huh.
So, okay. So we're getting to the good part.
Okay.
Well, I quit drinking and I learned to meditate. What I realized is I was like, oh, okay, meditation helps me today, now, right now.
Okay.
It helps me right now. I need to figure out, I know shit happened in my past, but I can't put my finger on what it was. Okay?
Did Warren Jeffries touch you?
He did not. Someone did. A couple people, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't understand that though. Okay.
Right.
So I learned this.
Well, you'd buried it, I'm sure, and freaking gone.
Dude, I have a whole course on this.
Right.
Explaining this because everybody does this.
Right.
Everyone does this.
It's too bad. I mean,
Yes.
it's too monster.
Well, your subconscious is trying to protect you, so it walls off.
My little
that
brother
thing.
said he really likes you.
Good, beautiful, love it. When we feel trauma as a child, our subconscious automatically walls it off because we don't know how to take the feeling. So, like, let's say you're like a 3 or 4 year old,
Okay.
and when you first start feeling emotions, you're just like happy, sad, crying, hungry, right? You're just children
Right.
bounce through it quite fast. How many times have you seen a child just throwing a fit and then all of a sudden
And then they're
just
happy.
switch?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a child's brain. When a child feels deep shame, it doesn't know what it is.
Okay.
So all it knows is it doesn't like it.
Right.
And so the subconscious is like, okay, we're going to compartmentalize this over here. We're going to put it away. We don't know how to
Shut
address
that
it.
door, lock that door.
It's gone.
Done.
All I knew is that when I went into my other mother's room when I was 3 or 4 years old, it felt very uncomfortable to me and I didn't like it. That's all I remembered about it.
Right.
Well, I learned from a therapist that I went to, I learned how to do this method. He taught me this method of how to do hypnotherapy to yourself.
Wow.
And he brought me down in this elevator in the hypno, and he's like, I'm gonna ask you a
You
question.
open the door.
He said, you sit down, there's gonna be a whiteboard in front of you, and he says, when I ask you this question, it's gonna put a number on the board for you. And I was like, okay. So I'm in the hypno, and he's like, at what age did you first feel abandoned? And in my mind, I'm like, abandoned? I wasn't abandoned. My parents were there all the time. And then it writes 4.
Man.
And I was like, 4. He's like, okay, you're going to walk down this hallway. You're going to open the door. You're going to see your 4-year-old self.
Oh, shit.
So I walk down the hallway. I open the door. I see a snotty-nosed, crying child, blonde hair, just bawling his eyes out. And here's the awesomest part about this. This is not about addressing something, okay? He said, go up to that child, pick that child up, and tell that child you are his protector now. You're never going to leave him. He's
Very
always gonna
cool.
have you, and you're going to protect him now. So basically, he's teaching you that you
Protecting yourself.
are protecting yourself.
Yeah.
There is an inner child in you that is screaming and crying, throwing fits, and drinking himself to death
Yep.
because he's scared and afraid.
Right.
And he's like, go and create this room in this environment and make this child feel super comfortable. So I set up all this stuff. I remember I loved my mom's bed when I was a kid, so I gave him my mom's bed. He's like, put a TV in front of this child and tell this child that it can see you at all times. Give him a phone and tell him he can contact you at all times. Okay? And he's like, now just sit down and spend some time with him, make him feel really good. So then he's like, go back, get up in the elevator. So I come out of it, I'm like crying. And he's like, here's the thing, Thomas. He's like, you are throwing fits as an adult.
Because you didn't know how to deal with it when your 4-year-old self
is running rampant in you.
Yep.
He's like, so I want you to go and talk to this 4-year-old child as often as you can for the next couple of weeks We're going to eventually join you guys together and you can become one. He's all, but he's like, I promise you this. He's like, that 4-year-old child is going to call you when it's trying to come out. 2 days later, I'm driving in traffic. This freaking guy cuts me off, and I immediately just like shoot through the window, and I'm like, oh, this is my 4-year-old child. I'm throwing a fit. I'm being a baby right now. Whoa, calm down. Be the adult. I'm here. Hey, we're going to get through this, buddy. I literally said that in the car.
Wow.
I was like, we're going to get through this. That changed my life.
Oh, I can't even imagine, dude.
Because then it started popping up all the time.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Someone gets upset at me and I need a drink. Oh, that's not me.
Or if you're upset, I need a drink.
That's my child. That's my inner child that is struggling.
Wow.
So then we did another session where we found where my anger came from. And that was when I was 14, when I got pulled out of school and I basically was child trafficked and was put on construction crews, and I was traveling to Arizona, Vegas, and they would put like.
So you didn't have a childhood after 14.
No, we'd have like 20 kids my age in 2-bedroom apartments with sleeping bags lined out one after the other like sardines.
Did you ever have to do the? I saw another special. Maybe it was the same one about picking up the walnuts or something.
So that was something we would do. Right, like not that exactly, but we had what's called Saturday Work Project, where it's like all the community has to come together. They had young people, like everybody had to work all the time.
Right.
But I was like on cruise where we'd go to Vegas, Colorado. We were hauling, like, dude, they would work us to death. But in my mind at that time, I was like, this is awesome. I don't have to be at school. I'm out with these guys. You know, this is cool. I get a.
Of course, they didn't pay you, did they?
Get $25 a day.
Wow.
And that basically covers like your just little incidentals, right?
Right.
Like you're out, you know. And we thought that was like the most amazing thing, right? I had twin cousins, and we were together, and we just thought it was so cool. However, future state, I was. You know why I was angry? Because my parents didn't seem to care where I was for like weeks and months at a time.
Right.
We didn't have cell phones.
Like out of sight, out of mind.
And then I'd come home and they'd be like, "Hey, what's up?"
Like nothing big,
dude.
And
inside you're screaming, "Man, I need this! I need
I
this!"
was like, why don't they care about me?
Right.
Like what the? And that made me really angry.
Yeah.
So after a period of time, we joined my 4-year-old, 14-year-old self, and my current self together as one.
Wow.
And that really healed me. And then meditation helped. And then what I realized after that point is I'm like, I have to go through my entire life with a fine-tooth comb, and I have to understand what happened. So what I did was I literally went back to the very first memory I ever had. I can remember it still today. I was crawling up the stairs to my other, not my mother, but my other mother. I was crawling up the stairs. I can remember the carpet. I can remember the railing. And so what I did is I jotted that down as a bullet point. And I said, okay, that was the first memory. I was like, okay, what's the next memory? Next memory I can remember, I was putting roller skates on the back concrete pad in our house. I remember falling down, slapping my hands, and I remember hurting really bad. And I remember the parents were like laughing at me. And in my mind, I'm like, why the hell are you laughing?
Right.
But
that
as an
freaking
adult,
hurt.
I'm like, oh, okay, you see a little kid fall. Whatever.
Right.
It's funny. Well, then I did that. Keep going, keep going. Then I come to a memory, and the memory freaking hurts. I don't even want to think about it. I can't even think about it. And I'm not even 4 years old. I can't even think about it. It hurts. It stings to even think about it. And I realized it was when I went into my other mother's room, and she pulled my pants down. And I remembered I was beyond diapers, and she was like, I remember thinking, I'm like, this isn't right. Something's
So
wrong.
you were molested by a woman?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what the odds of that are against?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that I didn't even remember that until I started doing that work.
Right.
Okay. So then I realized, I'm like, oh, I'm onto something. I need to write my entire life down, and I need to find those red flag moments where it hurts.
And
because
address them.
That's still causing me pain.
Right.
So then what I did is once I wrote it all down, I started to connect the dots and say, okay, why, I'll give you, this is such a great example, okay? When I was younger, my mom told me, because we lived in West Jordan, right? But
Okay.
we would wear like the pilgrim clothes and all that
Right.
stuff. My mom told me, she's like, don't tell the neighbors what religion we're a part of, and don't tell them that your other mother's your mother. Tell them it's your aunt. I was like 5.
They knew.
But I was like, what the hell is wrong with us?
Right.
Now,
You're carrying a burden and a
my
secret.
mom wasn't necessarily, she was just trying, I don't fault her.
She was trying to go under the radar.
She's trying to like protect her family
Right.
and do all this stuff. But for me at that age, I was like, what's wrong with me?
Right.
So I immediately thought there was something
You
wrong with
recognized that you were different than all the
Yeah.
other kids.
You internalized it as you too.
us. So now, fast forward, how does that manifest?
Mm-hmm.
I've been married 4 times and divorced 4 times.
Are you married now?
I'm engaged.
Good for
I'm gonna
you.
Get married. Yeah, that's a whole other story.
This is the one.
Oh, 100%. And
Yep.
I can tell you a really cool story about that.
Yeah, this is a good one.
But what I realized is I was like, okay, these are causing me problems now. So I have to determine like what is the connection with the way I behave today, because I'm trying to determine where is this drinking coming from.
Right.
Okay. Well, several of the girls that I dated, when I would go meet their families, I was very much just like stand in the corner, not talk to anyone. And they would take that based on what I look like
Right.
as he's an asshole.
Right.
Okay. In my mind,
He thinks he's better than the rest
I
of us.
was fearful to talk to people, but I didn't know why. I did not know why. And one day it hit me like a bolt of lightning as I'm doing this work. I was like, well, when I go up and talk to someone and say, hey, how are you? Especially in Utah, they're like, oh, hey, what high school did you go to? Immediately, I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, I can't answer that.
Well, so I came up with 2 things that I would answer. Either I would tell them, oh, I went to West Jordan. And I don't even know. I don't know. And then the bad part about that is if they're like, oh, do you know so-and-so? What class
Right,
were you?
exactly.
Shit, now I'm lying to someone that I've just barely met.
Yep.
Or the opposite of that is I say, oh, well, actually, I was raised in the FLS and I went to Alta Academy. Well, if I do that, they mean, is your dad a polygamist? Is your dad this? So I'm in trauma with someone I just barely met. So no wonder I don't want to talk to anyone.
No shit, dude.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't want to not be friendly, but I feel so trapped.
And let's be honest. I mean, kids at that age, they're brutal.
It's not even kids. It's freaking when I was in my 30s.
Oh. No, but I mean back when...
Going into meeting families, like, do I share MFLDS? Is he going to take my daughter into that? Is this? There's
Yes.
all these stigmas
Big time,
around.
dude.
So you're guarded
I'm
and
already
hiding
ashamed
all of
myself.
yeah.
I'm already
Yeah.
ashamed of
Right.
myself.
And you don't even know why.
Yeah, for no reason, really.
Right.
You
It wasn't my
cannot present
fault.
yourself.
It's just
at
because
all.
you were different.
Yeah, but it was, and also it wasn't my fault. I did not.
You didn't ask for it.
I didn't choose to be in that. I was raised in it. When I turned 18, I left. Right. So now you see what I'm saying.
Yes.
The connection.
Yes.
Okay. So then when I realized, I'm like, holy crap! I'm like, you have all these beliefs put on you as a child. Sub 8 years old, it's real intense.
Right.
That's your coding.
Right.
Right.
That is your coding. Because most of the time at those ages, you're just absorbing.
Right.
And especially from your parents, you see them as gods.
Right.
And so you're taking everything that they do as like.
And it has to be right. It
Yes.
has to be the right
And
thing.
also,
question.
you even take the way that they treat themselves. You absorb the way that they treat themselves. So if they're not confident and loving themselves, you think you can't love yourself.
Right.
That's where, once I got sober, I was like, and once I wrote my whole life down, I'm like, I got to write a book. I have to write about this, because once I started addressing all of this stuff in my life, and writing the book was so therapeutic.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
Because I went over it and over
Yeah.
it and over it, and I was like, okay, that's not who I am. I'm something else.
Talk about diving deep in and taking a hard look at yourself.
Oh, well, so the very first chapter is, that's what I said.
I want one of your books.
Absolutely.
I would love
should
it.
have brought a couple, actually.
Yes.
It's all right. I know a guy that knows a guy.
What I realized is I was like, oh my gosh, I'm hindering myself. Like it is me. Like none of this is my parents' fault, because
You started owning it.
it's my fault I'm drinking and acting like an asshole.
Right.
That is my fault.
Right.
It's not, if they get on their knees and tell me I'm sorry, it doesn't stop me from making
Doing
these
it.
horrible decisions.
Right.
So once I owned it, and once I went through this my life, I actually dropped down at several levels in what I thought about myself, because I thought I was because I was successful in sales,
Right.
and like all these things, and I just
But it was
dropped
all
down a
false-
notch, and I was like,
false
this is
bravado.
such a lie. I'm lying
Right.
to myself about everything. But the cool thing is, once I got to that rock bottom, I was like, okay, what kind of person do I want to be?
Do you know specifically when you got to that rock bottom?
You want to laugh?
Yeah.
The day I quit drinking is
You mean the last time?
the last time because I knew I kept going through that cycle of
Right.
quitting. And then
About every 3 months,
This is
you
what
were in a
happened.
cycle.
This is what happened. My ex, she was having a baby, and she had my son, and she's like, "Hey, when I go into labor, you need to come get him." And I was like, "Okay."
So I'm assuming this baby wasn't yours?
It was not mine. No,
Okay.
this was way after. This
Got
was
it.
6-7 years after.
Okay.
And I have 50-50 custody of my son. I have since he was 6 months old.
Awesome.
She called me at like 2 a.m. She's like, "Hey, I'm going into labor. I need you to come get Silas." And I, of course, had been drinking. I was hammered and I was passed out, and I answered the phone. So I run downstairs and jump in my 4Runner in my garage. And as I jumped in, I just like put it in gear, and then I dropped my phone. And dumbass that I am, I
Went to go
jumped
for your phone.
out of the car to grab the phone, and the door was open, and it just went. It caught to the side of the garage and just bent backwards. And at that moment, I'm like, I am fucking done with this. I cannot do this anymore.
Wow.
Because now it's affecting your son.
Well, it's dude, it's been affecting my life so bad. But it was just like it wasn't even it was a big thing, but it wasn't a big thing.
Right.
I'd done way worse things.
It's funny that one little thing was so
it was just
profound.
The final hair.
Yeah.
That dropped, and I'm like, I'm done with this. And that's what I say to addicts now, when they're trying to go through this process of trying to like heal themselves and quit. I ask them that question: Are you done? Because you have to come to that agreement with yourself. You're like, I am done.
Right.
Like, it's not, maybe I'll have a beer. It's like, no.
Like, you know.
I'm done.
Wow.
I'm never going to do this again.
And that was your moment.
That was my moment that happened.
Wow.
But again, to be successful in it and to get sobriety, like the way I talk about it now, a lot of people are like, oh, they're 10 years sober, and like, I'm in recovery. I do not believe that. I don't believe alcoholism is a disease. It's just a coping mechanism. It is a coping mechanism. That's
Right.
all it is.
It's an excuse.
If you go and solve your traumas,
then there's no reason. That's the underlying.
You won't have an addiction
Right.
to anything.
Right.
And dude, I take this to an extreme level.
Have you ever had anybody that's called you out on the carpet on that attitude or that
I'll
point?
argue with them all day about it.
Yeah.
Because if they will
Well, you were one. You know.
If they will do the work that I prescribe,
Right.
they will understand.
Right.
Because if you stay in that,
It's the
a
societal
disease,
thing.
Disease is still victim.
Right.
That's right. That is their reason.
That is it.
They've just given them a scapegoat with
Yeah,
that
disease is
answer.
victim.
Like ADHD and having to be on Ritalin, and it's
It's victim, dude. It's
Yeah.
victim. You're
Wow.
still a victim, and you're still saying, "Oh, it's something else. It's not my fault."
I'm not responsible for this. I was born this way.
Well, the crazy thing is, as I've like progressed, because that's not the end of the story. Like, I have way crazier stuff that happened after that. My vibration has continually rised. And what I see alcoholism now, alcohol in general, or anything that takes away your,
It lowers your vibration.
it lowers your vibration.
Talk about your vibration.
Okay.
Be more specific.
So vibration is like, I like to relate it to like a radio station.
Okay.
Okay? Have you ever read a
Like
book?
a radio wave.
Yes. Have you ever read a book and it was kind of like whatever, and then maybe like years later you think about a passage or you find a passage, you're like, oh shit, I didn't pick up on that.
Right.
Okay, that's a vibration.
Okay.
It's also flow. You'll relate it to flow when you're flying high.
Right.
Well, because I can say these same things to another person and they'll be like, he's crazy, he's woo, he's this, he's that. Whereas another person's like, give me more, give me more, give
Right.
me more. It's a radio station. You've tuned.
They're
in-
on the same vibe or
tuned
close
into
to
my-
the same vibe.
You've tuned into my radio station. You're receiving it.
Yep.
You understand it. You
Yep.
hear it. And dude, I'm telling you, the world in general is raising its vibration. You're seeing more psychedelics, less alcohol. Gen Z is using less alcohol than any of the previous generations. It is a vibration thing. Like you start to realize that it actually.
Well, because using the alcohol kills that vibration.
Yeah, if someone tells me they want to improve their lives, if I'm like, do you drink? Yes. You have to stop that. I can't even help you.
Wow.
I cannot help you because you will stay in a loop that will never fucking end.
Really?
You will stay in that loop forever.
Is it just alcohol or is it any substance?
Anything that you're using on a daily basis to calm yourself. So if you're smoking, weed is like an interesting one because weed can have some similar effects to psychedelics.
Okay.
However,
Somehow they classify it as a psychedelic.
it can.
It's interesting.
However, here's the thing with weed. If I'm smoking weed every single day to get through life,
It's
That's a problem.
still a crutch.
that's a problem.
Right.
That's a problem.
So I have a question for you. So take a guy like me. I don't drink every day. I rarely, I mean, I have available to me all the time, but I rarely drink at home. Matter of fact, about the only time I ever drink at home is if I'm going out and I'm just doing a pre-gamer.
Sure.
I'm a 100% fun, social. It's I don't have to have it.
Yep.
I mean, literally, it's, and I'm finding that the older I'm getting, like, I mean, there was a time there where when I drank a lot, but it wasn't like it was an everyday thing. I would drink, I'd wake up the next day and feel like shit and go, well, I'm not drinking for a week.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But even that is calmed out big time. But so talk to me about something like that, because I don't have to drink every day. I don't want to drink.
Bro, I bet money it's the reading, it's the space we've stepped into, the coaching.
Right.
I'll bet you've naturally shifted up.
You will work away from that. Like if you go do like a heavy dose, hero dose mushrooms or something like that, and you get into that space, you will stop using everything naturally.
Well, there is nothing other than that.
You will stop. It will just stop.
Right.
It won't be like, oh, I need to stop this. You won't want it.
You won't be called to it.
Huh.
You won't
Interesting.
want it. Dude, the reason I don't want it now, I don't want to lose the amount of clarity I have in my mind at all times.
Right.
Like the idea of, I know what it feels like to get drunk. The idea of getting a buzz makes me agitated because I'm like, I'll lose my clarity.
But let me tell you something else
detach.
here. Let me
detach.
Right. Let me tell you something else though that I'm finding out that's kind of interesting.
I can't believe you're admitting you're going into the woo, dude.
I'm going into the woo.
It's not woo, dude. It is
It's not
truth.
woo.
It's
Right.
truth.
It is truth.
It's truth.
I get it.
Holy crap.
I give him shit about being woo woo because he
I understand.
doesn't matter. It's just our way of
Teasing.
teasing. But here's the other thing though, bro, is I'm a huge gregarious. I love being around people. I love going out and you know, just having people are so drawn to me because I'm gregarious and happy and I don't judge anybody. It actually makes my wife go crazy because she says that you have no ability to read people because you don't judge them.
Okay.
Anyways, the long of the short is the less that I drink when I'm going out, the less that I actually want to be there.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I'm not okay with that because I love that. Like
That's the vibration that I'm talking about.
Interesting.
See,
You
do you know what I mean?
You caught that.
Yeah, no, I caught
He's
it.
right. You're out of a vibration.
You're in a different vibration now, and so you're like, oh, I don't want to be here. However, you want,
But I love it.
But you want the interaction. Okay, so here's the thing:
Like concerts, ask him. We've gone to concerts and have so much freaking fun.
you don't have to be drunk, and you don't have to be drunk.
I know
people to
that,
have
but
fun.
I'm just saying to you. But there's this
You don't have to
shift
not-
with me,
You can still go to a concert.
right? And I know that.
But what will happen is as you change, it's like leaving a group and you're kind of alone for a while. And then you'll start to magnetize another group on another vibration. So like I'm in big groups where there is no alcohol.
But I don't want to leave my group.
This absolutely is.
Do you see what I mean?
This
And
absolutely is a stage.
I'm just telling you,
This is what will happen.
This is absolutely a stage, dude.
Listen,
Right.
This is what will happen. There's two things that will happen. If you continue down the path of raising your vibration, okay, which maybe a big mushroom trip is what you need or something like that, you raise the vibration of everyone around you. Do you know that all of my siblings were massive alcoholics and have been arrested? My oldest brother spent 20 years in prison. Since I stopped drinking, almost all
You're dragging
of my
them all
siblings
up?
have stopped drinking.
right? Because of that vibration.
Dude, the power of vibration, the higher vibration is more powerful than the lower vibration, no matter what.
Right.
You raise it wherever you go. So you might find that your group starts to,
They already have.
okay, it's happening. That's my point. It's not like we have to rid ourselves of attachment. I
Right.
can go level 4 on this shit and start to really rock you, but attachment is the enemy of enlightenment. Okay, you're attached to your friends, to this, to that. You're attached to your whatever, your alcohol, your smoking, your whatever, and it's keeping you at this certain level. The more we let go, the more we rise above it. The more
Right.
we rise above it
Right.
until we get to. But here's the thing: the reason that we want stuff, or we like, even the idea of saying like, my child has successful at school or something like that. That's not even selfless, because that is validating me as a parent. Oh, so that makes me better if they're better. If they're better, then I can tell myself
Right.
that I am better. If I have friends that do what I do, I can tell myself that I am good. Okay? When we start to get alone, we get fearful because we don't have validation.
Oh, I used to be scared shitless of being alone.
So if you're out of a relationship, you're like, well, where's my value? Why doesn't someone like
Right.
me? Right? That's all a lie.
It is a lie.
All of it. You are enough.
So my little brother said to me, he said, his vibration, meaning you, is resonating here. This part. He said, sober, this is my little brother, sober for a year, never look back. Stop smoking MJ a month ago and also not looking back. Say more about the weed.
You have a brother that does weed?
Oh, yeah.
Anything that is okay. Let's take substance out of it for a second. Anything that I need every day can be bad.
It's crutch.
Of course.
It's crutch and
Netflix,
victim.
Food. TV.
My friend,
Porn.
anything outside
Anything.
of you
Work.
that you need.
Work.
Yes, everything. All
Everything.
Of it, all of it. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story.
Okay.
This is amazing. Okay, I was 2 years sober.
Okay.
I was writing my book.
Okay.
I was single. And I was like, you know what? I read tons of Deepak Chopra books about manifestation.
Quick. I'm right back.
And
Keep
I was
going.
like, I need to manifest a woman. I'd been divorced 3 times.
Right.
So I write down this list, and we live in Utah here, and I was like, oh, I want someone who's, and I was in my mid-30s.
Oh, it was your ticker list of what they had to be?
I want someone who's my age, never married, no kids, beautiful, successful.
Wow.
In Utah.
Right.
I write it all down. I take it to a real life matchmaker. I give them $5,000 and I say, find me this woman. The second person they lined me up on a date with, she was 2 years older than me, never married, no kids. She got her master's degree at Oxford. She got her PhD at the U.
Smart.
She was a business professor at the U. She owned her own orchard, and she was Miss Teen Utah.
Wow.
And she liked me.
Wow.
And she would just loved my story and everything, okay?
Okay.
3 months into dating, she's like, I want to have kids. I'm 37. I need to have kids. If you're not down for that, let's
break it off and
I was
be
like,
done.
nope, 100%. I'm down to do it. A year from the day we met, we got married. 6 weeks after that, she was pregnant. Little girl. I was like I love my son so much. I'm like, I love kids.
Yep.
I love my son so much. So having a little girl, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so incredible. 8 months into the pregnancy, she couldn't feel the baby moving. We went in to the doctor. They're like, the baby has passed away. We had to induce labor. She had to give full birth. The baby was 5.5 pounds. Little girl, dark hair. Soul crushing.
Yes.
Soul crushing.
Yes. Did you revert?
So listen to this.
Okay.
2 weeks after, she leaves me. Says she wants a divorce.
Did she blame you?
I won't go into all the details.
Okay.
I won't
Understand.
I won't. Yeah, whatever.
Understood.
She leaves.
Right.
A month after that, I lose my job. I lost my job, lost my wife, lost my daughter in a 3-month period. Anyone
Would have reverted.
would have been like, I'm getting freaking hammered. I'm going back.
It's hammer time.
It's hammer
Right.
time. What I did was I dug deeper into it. I'm like, this is not a bad thing. This is for me.
Right. This is the universe speaking to me.
Think about this for a second. This is kind of a weird thought. Jeff Bezos cannot pay for that experience.
Nope.
Do you understand?
I do.
Losing a child like that
Right.
is so valuable.
Right.
You can't.
This is what I talk about in our trainings.
It cannot be created.
Right.
So why would I ruin this opportunity to have
To grow from it.
Massive amount of growth.
Yep.
So I dug deep into it.
Good
I was
for
like,
you.
I'm going to own this. I love this. This is what I want. This is powerful. I want to understand this. I want to feel it as much as possible. I want to feel the sadness. I want to feel the all the things.
Yep.
All of it.
Yep.
I didn't even look for a job. Some company reached out to me and gave me more money than I've ever been paid. I didn't even apply for a job.
You're skipping a point,
What?
aren't you?
What?
Have you gone on your trip yet?
No, I'm not there yet.
Okay.
No, that's happened twice, dude.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it just happened in August again. So I didn't even apply for a job, and they reached out to give me this job. Okay. So then I worked for 2 years, and I'm working for a startup, and I'm just like busting my hump, dude, working 6 days a week, like just so much work. And we end up getting acquired. And at this point, I'm like 4, 5, 6 years into my sobriety. And I was really good. Like I wake up at 5 a.m., I go to the gym. Probably when he started noticing me is when
That happened.
this all happened.
Yep.
I've been going to the gym for 6 years, dude. I completely...
Well, you both said you joined the same gym back in 16 or
Yeah. Six.
06.
20 years
and he
ago.
barely freaking noticed you 2 years later or 2 years ago.
But that's the vibration and energy
Right.
shift. Okay?
I get it. I believe it.
So I have this feeling, and by the way, I haven't done really anything. Like what I mean by that is substances.
Okay.
And I have this feeling. I'm like, I researched ayahuasca years ago, and because I was looking for something to help me quit drinking alcohol.
Right.
And I was like, I can't go into the jungle and do drugs. I wouldn't trust myself.
Yeah.
Right.
But
And you might shit yourself.
well, probably. But I had this like deep feeling. I'm like, I need to go do this. I need to go do this. And I'm like, I'm avoiding it. I'm not thinking about it. And then finally, it was just so strong, dude. It was coming up everywhere. People were bringing it up. It was coming up everywhere. And I was like, okay, I found the resort. I booked the trip. 2 days later, laid off. 2 days after I booked the trip to go to ayahuasca, I was laid off. And I'm like, okay, great. At that point, I'm accepting everything and all.
Right.
I don't even fight it.
Right.
I just accept. And I was like, okay, this is perfect. Because now I'm going to go down here. I'm not going to have my phone for 7 days, and I'm not going to be thinking about work. I'm going to be thinking about what am I here for? Why am I doing this?
Right.
Okay. So I go to this resort. By the way, it's the same resort that Aaron Rodgers went to. And in his documentary on Netflix, they show my book because I left a signed copy there.
Nice.
I was like,
yeah.
it was so awesome. Dude. I showed my book on the documentary. I was like, hell yeah.
You should send a copy to Aaron.
I need to, right?
You should.
I know.
I'm going to shit all over you.
So I go down. You're there for 7 days. You do 3 ceremonies, okay?
Okay.
Dude, you have no
Did you
idea.
do that? Did you go all in? Like I understand there's different levels that you can do it, right? From Chad. Chad was
If you
telling
did
me
all
you can.
three,
You choose.
Meaning how strong?
Well, yeah. Okay. So
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I'll explain that. So the cool thing, first of all, I've run into people here in Utah that call themselves a shaman.
Right.
They're not a freaking shaman.
No.
Like this guy, he learned it from his dad. He learned how to make the ayahuasca. He's been doing ayahuasca, done thousands and thousands and thousands of trips. He leads them. It's a whole energetic thing. That guy is a freaking shaman.
Right.
And I have so much respect for it because the energy that he was able to create in
Right.
the environment was incredible.
Right.
Okay? So you go sit down. There was 8. I went to a resort, by the way, that only allows 8 people. Some of these places allow 50, 60 people.
Right.
It's too much
You're
energy.
all laying on shit
Too much
around in a
energy.
teepee
Too
and
much energy.
Yeah.
8 people. We sit down. He says, "Okay." He's like, "I'm going to offer you the first cup. We're going to sit in silence for an hour." When I offer you the first cup, after about an hour or so, I'm going to say, "I'm going to open up the table for another cup." You converse with yourself.
I was going to say, what were you thinking about during that hour?
I'll tell you. But he says, you converse with yourself and determine if you need more or not.
Okay.
So that's to your point.
Yep.
You determine how much you take.
Got it.
The first hour, I'm just sitting there, and I can feel it coming on. And by the way,
Like, what does it feel like?
keep in mind, I've been sober,
Right.
right? So I'm virgin.
So you feel also like you're. I mean, did you feel like maybe you were cheating or
not at all.
Okay.
Not even a little bit.
So you said you could feel it coming on. What do you mean?
So because my body's so sensitive now, because I don't take anything.
So like you were
hardly
getting
take
drunk,
Advil.
or you were getting high, or you were.
You could feel just like a little buzziness, like
Okay.
something.
Okay.
Right? And I noticed my mind starting to like go fast. Like
Okay.
I would think of something and it would just like go through all this stuff.
Like
Just
ripping all over the
thinking about
place.
stuff.
Okay.
And I realized I'm like, okay, so it's almost like there's two versions of me. There's this version that's like going fast, and then I'm thinking about like, well, what do I need to get from this and all this stuff, and I remember my son just came to my mind, and I'm like, gosh, I love him so much, and I'm like, and then I was like, oh, when I'm hard on him, I'm also hard on myself. When I'm nice to myself, I'm nice to him, and then I realized I'm like, I need to treat, like I love him so much, I should love myself so much, and it was just like this.
That was your big kind of.
No.
No?
That was just getting started. So then I'm just like, this is the kind of
It's
thought
just working the process,
kind of
yeah.
thought that's happening, okay? Then he says, okay, we're opening it up for another cup. All of us go up and get another cup. Then I sit down. Then he starts playing the music. And they tell you, if you get lost, listen to the music.
Oh. Okay.
But he plays music the entire time. He sings. He has a little assistant that plays too.
And you can hear it the whole entire time?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the whole thing.
Okay.
The music is the whole thing.
By the way, that audio that I was telling you about, he talks about how the ayahuasca and about shamanism, and he relates it all back to psychedelics have to be in residence, have to have
Dude.
audible.
Oh,
okay.
so
Sorry, keep going.
It's so incredible.
Keep going.
So incredible. By the way, I was researching ayahuasca before I went, and I found this ayahuasca playlist before. I was listening to music, and I'm like, what the heck is this crap? I really thought that.
Right.
Now it's all I listen to.
Right.
All the time.
Right.
In my car, all the time. Don't listen to anything else. It's all I can listen to. So anyways, we're in it. Then I start to freaking trip, dude. Then it freaking hits me. And I'm like tripping.
Right.
Like tripping hard. I didn't realize if I was standing up, but I didn't realize if I was standing up in my mind or if I was still on the mat and my mind was standing up. I was completely like disassociated. I didn't know if I was still there. The shaman's face turned into my brother's, and then it turned into my mom that molested me. And I was like, oh shit. And it's like, you have to face these things. We have to face these things. I had a conversation with Mother Ayahuasca, and I said, please go gentle on me. And so then the music's playing, and I'm sitting there, and it was almost like we were going through a swamp, and there was all this shit that I had to deal with. And she was like, see? And the music was playing, and she's like, see, I'm taking you through it real slow, but she's like, we're going to have to go into it. And I was like, okay. And then the music starts to speak.
And this is all your inner self doing all this.
That's why they call it Mother Ayahuasca, because you're like interacting, but it's like you're in your mind's eye, like
Right.
You're having a conversation with yourself, but the other voice is very separate.
Right.
It's not like you're talking to yourself.
Right.
It's very separate.
Okay.
And it's very wise. And then the music starts to speed up, and I start to feel real sick.
Yeah.
And I can feel it in my entire body. My knees are throbbing, my joints, my stomach is just turning, and he just keeps playing faster and faster, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And we have these bowls in front of us.
Was he playing faster in real life?
So yes, the songs do it on purpose that way. It's
Okay.
really soft, and then it goes to an agitation. It's on purpose.
Okay.
So then I'm like, okay, I got to throw up. So then I lean over, and it's just dry heave. I can't throw up. And the thing is, they starve you before you go in.
Right.
So I can't throw up, and then the music calms down, and I'm like, oh, thank God. And then I'm just sitting there quietly, and then like I start to think about my second ex-wife. And I like turn over, and the girl that was sitting next to me, it was my second ex-wife. And I was like, and she was crying, and I was like, I freaking miss you so bad. And I'm like, just talk to me. Because by the way, I've not talked to this woman in 12 years or something like that.
Wow.
I'm like, just talk to me. And then she's like, no. And she like turns away from me. And I'm like, and then the medicine told me, is like, see, she's suffering from this, the relationship you guys had, she's still suffering from it. But you need to let it go.
Right.
And dude, that was incredible for me. Because that was a reason that I had such a hard time with relationships. I couldn't detach from that person.
Got it.
For whatever reason.
Right.
So then I finally relax, and then he starts playing the music. Bing, bing, bing. Like just little slow thing. You're like, oh, this is nice. And he starts to speed up and you're like, ah, fuck. You get sick again. Dry heave, dry heave, dry heave, dry heave. We went through that cycle like 6-7 times.
That's crazy that it was the music.
Oh, it's everything.
Talk about waves.
The whole time, I'm tripping so hard the whole time, I'm thinking to myself, why is he only giving me attention? And I talk to everyone else, they're like, no, I thought that.
Wow.
And I was like, what the? Anyway, so
That's
the
ego.
first night ends, when he ends the ceremony, you almost like come out of the trip, like pretty quick. And then they eat fruit and whatever. And I was like, I just left that night and I was like, that was so chaotic. So the next day I'm like, I don't even need to do it again. I understand what it is. It didn't really help me necessarily. I understand it. I don't want to do it again. But then you're out in the middle of the jungle. You're there. You've paid the money. You're like, all right, we got to go again
See
tonight.
where we're going.
But the leaders say, they're like, you will not have the same trip.
Right.
You won't. And I was like, okay. So the second night, I like went inside.
Did anybody not show up the second night?
No, everybody did it.
Okay.
Everybody did all 3 nights.
Okay.
The second night, I just lied on the mat, still didn't move, and went through the same thing.
Exact same thing.
He would play, I would dry heave. And I'm like, what am I, like, what?
Were you having all the same thoughts,
So was there
though?
resistance?
Something was like, I couldn't let go of something.
There was
Right.
Yes.
Whatever it was.
Yes.
Right.
But I was telling myself, I'm like, dude, what is wrong? Like, let go. That night I took 3 cups. The first night I took 3 cups. Second night I took 3 cups. The end of the second night, I went up to the shaman and I was like, dude, I can't break through. I feel like
Like
I'm
physically you went up to him?
Yes.
Okay.
After we were done.
Okay.
And I was like, I feel like I'm like on the precipice of something major happening, and I can't vomit. I can't let go. I'm just so tight. He's like, the third night, he's like, I'm going to bring a stronger brew. And he's like, you're going to have a breakthrough. And he's like, that night, because the first 2 nights you go 7 o'clock at night to 1 in the morning. He's all, the third night, he's like, we're going to do 9 o'clock at night to sunrise. And he's like,
That's a long fucking time,
And he's
dude.
like, trust me, this is much stronger than
Whoa.
what you've been taking. And so I was like, all right. Well, we have a day where we skip. And we don't do
Let your
anything.
body
So
heal?
we just, and dude, the thing is, you're just mentally like fried.
Oh, I can even imagine.
It just burned. Because you disassociate. Like you think you're never going back.
Right.
You're in this trip mode and you're never going back to regular life.
Wow.
Left it all behind.
That's actually kind of scary.
It's super scary.
Yeah.
So anyways, so then the third night, I come down and I'm so like, I don't even have an intention. I'm just like burned. And I'm like, I don't care. Whatever happens, happens.
You're exhausted.
Yep. So I take the first cup, and within 10 minutes, I'm like, oh shit. This stuff is way stronger.
Way stronger.
Way
Here we go.
Here we go.
So we wait for an hour. He opens it up. I go get a second cup. And then, dude, it felt like he was playing like he was like a band.
Like the sound was like a full band.
He was controlling the whole environment
Got it.
and just taking you. By the way, he takes it too. When
During this.
he takes it with you,
Wow.
so he's tripping too, but his trip is like helping you.
Right.
He knows how to help you because
Hence the shaman
he's on
part
the
of
same
it.
vibration.
Right.
So I'm 2 cups in, and I'm just like surfing the internet, like freaking going everywhere. It's crazy. And I'm just like allowing. And then he's like, and then he didn't open it up for a third, but I like my,
You wanted
it's
it.
like, go take a third cup. I tried to stand up and I couldn't. I crawled over to him and I'm like, I want a third cup. He's like, okay. So he gives me a third cup and I crawl back. I see another girl get up to get a third. He's like,
No.
no way. So he gives me a third.
Did you shit yourself at any time?
No.
Okay.
But
I heard that
well,
happens
it comes out of
often.
one of the 2 ends.
Right.
It can come out of either end.
Right. Or both.
Potentially. So I take the third and I lie down and I'm just listening to the music. And then this thought, my dad died when I was 22.
Okay.
And I did not have a great relationship with him. I'm laying there, he's playing this soft sound, and my dad comes to my mind. And I'm like, man, I just wanted his approval. And the medicine said he was doing the best that he could.
Right.
And I said, I don't care. I wanted his approval. And the medicine said, he was doing the best he could. And I said, I don't care. I wanted his approval. And the medicine said, you mean like you give your son your approval? And it just freaking stabbed me.
Oh, man.
And dude, then it shoots back. It shows me 6 generations. It's like your dad wanted his dad's approval, and his dad wanted his dad's approval. Do you see what's happening?
Yeah. You're just continuing on.
It's not stopping.
Right.
And your dad, it only gave you what he had.
Right.
It's not his fault.
Right.
He only had what he had.
It's what he learned.
He learned that. He couldn't give you anymore. And I was like, holy shit. I'm like, he didn't know.
And that was the big, was that the big aha?
So we're getting there. I was like, he wasn't intentionally trying to hurt me. He really was doing the best he could.
Right.
The level of empathy I had for my dad was like through the roof.
Wow.
Okay? Dude, love was pouring out of my body for him. I never felt that kind of love for him before.
Wow.
Ever. And think about it. He's your dad.
Yeah.
I loved him.
Yeah.
Like unconditionally.
Yeah.
I felt bad.
You understood him.
Yeah, I felt bad for him. I was like, I'm sorry, Dad, that you had to go through this.
Right.
Then it shifts to my mom. And I was like,
Which mom?
my mom.
Okay.
And then I was like, holy shit, she didn't know either. And she was just giving me the best that she could. Then it goes to my brother. Oh my God, he doesn't know either.
Wow.
Then it goes to everyone in my circle, my friends.
Including the mom that molested you?
She didn't come up, but
Okay.
it kind of like, it just went wider, and I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, none of these people
It's
know.
the answer for everybody.
None of these people know.
Right.
They're just going off what they were given. Then it goes out to the whole entire world. And as it's going out, I'm feeling love like I've never felt. Even people I didn't really like. I'm like, oh, now I know why you act like that.
Wow.
Because you don't know.
Right.
And then it goes to the whole entire world. And I was like, holy shit. The whole world doesn't know.
Wow.
And then it all sucks away. And dude, I was feeling love. The word love doesn't even encompass what I was feeling. Okay?
Then you wanted it back.
And I relate it to how you feel about your child the first time your child's born.
Right.
You just feel like the level of love you
Right.
feel for your child is like crazy.
Right.
It was like that times 100 for everyone.
Wow.
And then it all goes away. And I'm like, what the heck? And then the medicine says to me, Thomas, you can give yourself that love. And then I had this a massive amount of love for myself. And I'm like, I don't know that I'm enough.
Right.
I am enough. And it's like, Thomas, you are enough. You're everything. You're it. You have it now. You don't have to become anything. You don't have to learn anything. You are it.
Right now.
Right now. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm finally healed. And it's like, no.
No.
You never needed to be healed. You just needed to remember.
Wow.
And I was like, holy fucking shit. And I was like, I have to tell people. I have to tell. And then it's like, do you see what's happened? You wrote your book. Do you know why? It's like everything in your life, every single thing you went through is perfect.
Right.
Because
It
all
drove
led
you to where you were.
And guess what? When you go tell your story, people will fucking listen because
Yes.
of everything you've been through and everything you've overcome. Divorce, death, loss of children, you freaking name it. Like, I have been through everything. Overcome addiction, cults, molestation, you name it. Millions of lives have been through this. If you tell me a problem, I can most likely directly relate to it and that I've been through it.
Right.
Okay?
Talk about a shaman.
So it tells me, it's like, tell your story.
Yeah.
Go tell your story. Tell it to as many people as you can. So then I'm just like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I need to go. I need to leave now. I need to tell everyone. Because it was so obvious to me, everyone's suffering. It was so crystal clear that all anyone needs to do is go inside themselves and they will solve every single quote unquote problem they have, because everything is designed around validation. Am I good enough? Am I good enough? Yes, you are good enough. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. It doesn't matter what you look like. You're it. You're good enough. You're 100%. You are it.
Yep.
You just have to remember that. Now, believing that is another.
Right.
can
How do
tell
you get
yourself that.
people to
Connecting to that.
So then it showed me it's like this whole like affirmations Like you write on a note.
We do them every day.
Yeah, you put it on your wall and you say, "I am beautiful. I love myself." It was like, that's ridiculous. Why do you need to tell yourself that you love yourself? Do you need to tell yourself that you love your child? Do you need to write a thing and say, "Okay, I remember that I love my child"? What the heck? You shouldn't have to do that.
Right.
Now that's the first wake up call and saying like, okay, if I feel like I have to do that, what are the false beliefs in my life that I have about myself that make me not believe that I'm enough?
Right.
It all comes from childhood.
Right.
It all comes from the world telling us we're not enough, we're not enough, we're not enough, we're not enough. You need a car, you need a hot wife, you need this, you need that. Then what happens to those rich people that get that and then end up killing themselves?
Right. It's not enough.
It's not enough because the only thing that is enough is you.
Right.
That's it. That's the only thing that will validate you, ever. Nothing else will validate you. You have to validate yourself.
Right.
So how do you go on that journey of becoming that? So I've created courses on like how do you like start this process of like unlearning these beliefs. I believe that going and doing ayahuasca is not it won't. I know people who've done it 9, 10, 12 times
And still
they don't
didn't get
have
it.
what I have.
Right.
I
It was
believe
just perfect for you in that point
the medicine
where you
will
were at.
give you what you're ready to receive.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It doesn't matter if you do 50 drinks of it. It doesn't matter. It will give you what you're ready to receive because here's the thing. You are a God. You're a God in the sense that whatever you believe is reality.
Right.
You're so powerful that you can believe that you're not a God.
Right.
And it will be because that's how powerful you are.
Right.
So if you can learn who you are, remember who you are, then you get to this place, dude, where I'm telling you, nothing matters.
Right.
And here's the example. Oh, wait, let me tell this story really quick. So then once I saw this, and I was like, holy cow, the medicine then proceeded to show me my entire future until I leave this earth. And when I say leave this earth, I did not die. I vibrated out.
Wow.
I literally saw myself vibrating out of this world. Like I vibrated so high that I just left the plane. I just left.
Wow.
I can't be here anymore because I'm such a high vibration. But it's a long time till that comes.
Right.
And it showed me, it was like, you meet this little Hispanic girl, and when you meet her, she becomes your everything. Meaning, you never want to be with someone else. She like fulfills that desire you have for a companion.
Right.
Not fulfill you, but fulfill your desire for a companion. And she will love you the way that you've never been loved by anyone else because you're being who you truly are.
Right.
You're on that vibration. Now you can receive that person. Well, I get out of the thing and I'm just like, oh my gosh. It took me weeks to like come down.
Right.
I would wake up like buzzing from the whole situation. I just couldn't even like collect my thoughts. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to do. I didn't have a job.
Right.
So then I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to like try to like start creating stuff to like get out to the world. So I would like a podcast, right? And like this and like that. Then all of a sudden out of nowhere, a friend calls me. He's like, hey, these guys need a sales rep at this software company. Are you interested? I was like, I'll take the call. Took the call. Didn't even talk about I told them my ayahuasca trip. I told them my trip. They gave me the job.
Wow.
Then I worked for them for a year. They get all of us on a call and lay us all off. All salespeople, the whole sales leadership, everything. When that happened, the whole time I was doing my podcast, I was developing like my course and all that stuff. When they laid me off, I was like, awesome. I'm just going to do this.
Right.
I didn't have money. In fact, my bank account was dwindling. I didn't care. It doesn't matter. And what matters is if I help another person.
You're on a higher purpose.
That's what matters.
Yep.
So I'm going along doing that. The CRO of a big startup that I got laid off from before I went into ayahuasca, they hired a new CRO. This guy's famous for taking MongoDB public. He DMs me on LinkedIn and says, hey, I want to talk to you. Will you fly to New York and talk to me? And I was like, what the
Why does he want to talk to me?
But dude, I think about it. I didn't apply for anything. I didn't do anything. He flies me out. We talk for about 45 minutes about work and about 3 hours and 45 minutes about my ayahuasca trip, my journey, all this
Your
stuff.
purpose.
They hired me. They bring me on board. They give me all these products, and they set me up on a comp plan where my first quarter I made $80,000 in commission on top of my salary.
Wow.
I didn't even do anything.
Right.
I did nothing, and I don't care.
It just fell into
It
place.
doesn't matter.
Right.
Because I have a mission, and that's what I need to do. So the universe just brings you shit. It just gives it to you.
You listening to this?
I am.
But
I am.
when you match the resonance of I'm enough, I am in abundance of that.
Right.
Then abundance comes to you. And what I want is not, I don't care about money. I care about how do I help someone?
Yep.
What can I say? What can I do? How can I help them? Well, 4 months after I left ayahuasca, I go on a date with a girl, 5 foot tall, 98 pound Hispanic girl. I did not connect the dots, dude. From that weekend that we met, we saw each other every weekend up until this day. That was almost 2 years ago. We're engaged now. I told her my whole story right when we met. And I told her, I said, if you ever want to do any type of psychedelics, tell me, and I'll take you on a journey. But I'll never, ever, ever force you to do anything. You need to tell me if you want to do it.
Right.
Well, about 3 months later, she's like, I want to try it. I was like, great. We go in, we're doing it, and I look at her and I'm like, holy shit.
It's
You're
her.
the girl.
It's her.
I went right back into my ayahuasca.
Right.
trip. I went right back into it. And I was like, oh my God, this is the girl. Like I was flipping out.
Oh, I'm sure.
I was like, this is freaking wild, dude. So now I'm so in belief of like just
She came into your life because you opened that door, bro.
right when I was ready to receive it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even have received it before I did ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Right when I was ready to receive it, it came.
My little brother wrote down Don Miguel Ruiz. Who's that?
I've heard the name.
Never heard of it.
I have no idea.
I'll have to think. I know the name.
This is officially our longest episode ever.
Sorry.
No, you're
No,
good,
this is
dude. I
awesome,
love
bro.
this. I love this. We're going to have you back on because we haven't even talked about your book unless this is all your
There's
book.
tons of stuff, dude. I mean, I could go on for days talking about this.
Man.
Because the thing is, since then, I've elevated it like even more
Oh, I'm sure.
to where I understand.
Every day you are.
I understand that like. So when you stop lying to yourself, okay, and you start to be brutally honest with yourself, and you start to take accountability for everything, what you realize is that your gut feeling, your intuition, that small voice, it's always been there. We all felt it. We've
Right.
all said in hindsight, man, should have listened to my gut feeling.
Yep.
Okay. That thing, when you start to vibrate, you start to realize that thing is talking to you all
the time.
And if you listen to it and you follow it, you start to create an intimate relationship with it to the level you have a trusted advisor with you at all times, and your feeling and your vibration tells you exactly how to be and exactly what to do at all times.
Wow.
To where you have no fear. It eliminates it because you're like, oh, this is for me. If something bad
You just
happens,
trust it
dude,
completely.
my mom just barely passed away a month ago. Super hard thing. Right?
Yeah.
Losing your mother.
Right.
Her and I years ago, I said, because her and I did not have a good relationship, I decided, I was like, I want a good relationship with her, and I'm going to change. So I changed the way that I behaved with her. When she died, her and I had the best relationship. We were so tight. She never gave me praise, and she was giving me praise like constantly all the time. Not because I asked her to do anything or we had to come to Jesus.
It's how you interacted with it.
changed.
Yep.
I changed, and it created a better relationship.
Yep.
So it's when I talk about vibration, you start to see, you're like, oh my gosh. Then what you realize is, why do you think like people follow Steve Jobs or Elon Musk? Those guys get to a point where they actually don't care about money. They have a mission and they have a belief. Nothing can change them.
Right.
They don't care.
Right.
People are so attracted to that because all that is they believe and they know and
Certainty.
they
Exactly.
know themselves.
Exactly.
That's it.
That's it.
That's all it is.
I believe that.
Because then they attract that, right? And it's this vibration. Everybody wants it. They want to be around it. They want to be in business with it. They want to be like it.
Yeah.
But what they don't understand is that it's all inner work.
Right.
It's not anything else.
Right.
Once you get there, it doesn't matter what happens outside of you
Right.
because you know you're enough.
Jeez, the dog.
I think he's got to go out. Will you come back on our show? Okay. Love it, man. Are you still doing your podcast?
Yeah, I just did one yesterday.
Cool. We want to come on yours.
I would
You
love
can
to
tell
have
us
you.
more there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll work with you to schedule.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. I want to go show you the room upstairs. We talked about the men's group I want to get talking about.
Yeah.
So,
Let's do it.
Okay, I'm sorry to cut you off, but man, this is by far our longest one. I
thanks
freaking
for
love
coming
it.
in, brother.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Thank you for letting me share my story because
Absolutely.
really, guys, that's what fulfills me more than anything is like if one person gets like one little thing that makes them go a degree better,
It's
like
totally
success.
that. Exactly.
That's success.
I guess this Don Miguel Ruiz, he's an author that taught my little brother a lot of these truths through his books. So,
And that's what we were talking about earlier. Truth, everything I'm saying,
right.
it's not a methodology and it's not what I came up with. There is a single truth.
It's not even woo-woo. It's
truth.
It's truth.
If you read other books, you'll see things and you'll be like, oh, that's what Thomas was talking about.
Yep.
He's talking
Right.
about that.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
Right.
It's all the same.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening in. I told you this cat was going to be good. I like him.
Yep.
We're going to find out more. We got to get you involved in what we're doing way more. So
Awesome.
trust me, and we'll help you with your mission as well.
Love it.
All right, everybody, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Have a fantastic weekend. Next week, have a killer week, and we will see you next Friday.